Hello, everyone. I am Charlotte, and welcome to Read Insight. In this fast paced, hyper competitive, modern world, there is a specific compliment we often hear, one that rings in our ears from childhood well into adulthood. You are so smart, or perhaps you are so talented. For many of us, this seems like the ultimate validation, a golden ticket that certifies we possess some innate advantage over others. It feels good, doesn't it? But what if I told you that this seemingly harmless, even beautiful compliment might actually be quietly sabotaging your courage to face challenges? What if being labeled smart is actually the biggest stumbling block preventing you from true growth? Today, I want to share a book that fundamentally changed how I view human potential. It is the classic work by Stanford University psychologist Carol Dweck titled Mindset: The New Psychology of Success. This is not just another book about how to succeed. It is a gentle scalpel that precisely dissects our deepest misunderstandings about the word ability, showing us how we are defined by our thinking patterns and, more importantly, how we can rewrite our life's script by simply shifting our perspective. Let's start by imagining a scenario. Picture yourself trying to learn a completely new skill, perhaps playing the piano or picking up a new foreign language. In the beginning, you are full of enthusiasm, but very quickly you hit a wall, your fingers keep stumbling over the keys, or those vocabulary words just won't stick in your memory. In that precise moment of frustration, what is the first thought that flashes through your mind? Do you sigh and think, well, I guess I just don't have the talent for this. I should probably quit. Or do you think, this is interesting? Clearly, I haven't found the right method yet, but with a bit more practice, I'll get there. These two distinct internal monologues represent the core concept Professor Dweck introduces in her book, The Difference Between a Fixed Mindset and a Growth Mindset. It might sound like a simple shift in terminology, but trust me, when we dig into the psychological mechanisms behind these thoughts, you will realize this determines not just how you learn, but how you define your self-worth and how you interact with the entire world. There is a famous experiment described in the book that gave me chills when I first read it. Researchers took a group of elementary school children and gave them a set of fairly simple puzzles to solve. After the first round, all the children did well. But here is the twist. The researchers divided the children into two groups and gave them different kinds of feedback. To the first group, they said, "Wow, you got 8 out of 10 right. You must be really smart at this." Notice that this praises their talent. To the second group, they said, "Wow, you got 8 out of 10 right. You must have worked really hard." This praises their process. What happened next is fascinating. When the researchers offered the children a choice to try a harder puzzle, the majority of the kids who were praised for being smart rejected the challenge. They preferred to stick to the easy tasks. Why? Because they wanted to protect that label of being smart. They were terrified that if they tried the hard puzzle and failed, it would prove they weren't smart after all. In contrast, 90% of the kids praised for effort chose the harder puzzle. To them, failure didn't mean they were stupid, it just meant they needed to apply more effort. This experiment reveals a heartbreaking truth. When we worship talent, we actually make ourselves fragile. This is the essence of the fixed mindset. People with this mindset believe that intelligence, talent, and character are carved in stone. It is like being dealt a hand of poker cards. You get what you get, and you cannot change them. Therefore, for someone with a fixed mindset, every challenge feels like a trial, a test to prove, am I enough? In this mental framework, failure is not just an event, it becomes an identity. If you fail, you don't just mess up a task, you become a failure. This fear causes people to stagnate, to refuse opportunities for growth just to maintain a facade of perfection, and sometimes even to lie or cheat just to cover up the fact that they aren't flawless. On the other hand, The growth mindset offers a completely different view of the universe. People with a growth mindset believe that a person's basic qualities can be cultivated through effort, strategies, and help from others. Now, they don't deny that talent exists, nor do they claim everyone can be Einstein or Beethoven. However, they believe that everyone can improve from where they are. They see the brain as a muscle that gets stronger with exercise. For a growth minded person, failure is still painful, but it is just data. It is feedback telling you this method didn't work, not a death sentence for your personality. Think of Michael Jordan. We know him as a legend, but few remember he was cut from his high school varsity basketball team. A person with a fixed mindset would have gone home and cried, deciding they weren't cut out for it. But Jordan, a classic growth mindset example, took that failure as evidence that he wasn't working hard enough yet. He started practicing at 6 in the morning every day. It was that mindset, not just raw talent, that built the legend. What shocked me most about this book wasn't just its application to work or school, but how it applies to our relationships and love lives. When we view love through a fixed mindset, we often suffer. How many times have we expected our partners to just know what we are thinking? We tell ourselves, if he really loved me, I wouldn't have to say it. This is fixed mindset thinking. We assume ideal relationships should be perfect and effortless. And if we have to work at it, it means the relationship is wrong or we are incompatible. Professor Dweck warns us that this belief in destiny is dangerous. Lovers with a growth mindset understand that great relationships aren't found, they are made, they are built. Conflict doesn't mean the end of the relationship. It is an opportunity to understand differences and grow together. This shift in perspective can save countless relationships and teach us to be more patient and forgiving with the people we love. Perhaps as you listen to this, you are starting to self reflect and feel a bit anxious, thinking, oh no, I think I am a fixed mindset person. Please take a deep breath. This is exactly where the growth mindset begins. Professor Dweck emphasizes that we are all a mixture of both mindsets. We might have a growth mindset at work, eager for challenges, but a fixed mindset in romance, terrified of rejection. Or we might be willing to train hard in sports, but believe we are naturally bad at math. This is normal. The goal isn't to surgically remove the fixed mindset overnight, but to practice awareness. When you hear that voice in your head saying, don't try that, you'll look foolish. Recognize it as your fixed mindset persona. Then answer it with a growth mindset voice. I'm not good at this, but I'm not good at this yet. This brings me to the most beautiful word in the entire book, yet. In a high school in Chicago, if students didn't pass a course, they didn't get a fail grade. They got a grade of not yet. Think about how hopeful that is. Fail sounds like a dead end, a final verdict, but not yet implies you are on a journey, that the future holds infinite possibilities. This is the core value I want to offer you today. No matter what stage of life you are in, no matter how old you feel or how many opportunities you think you've missed, remember that your brain has incredible neuroplasticity. That thing we call personality or destiny is actually much more pliable than we imagine. This book also offers profound advice for those of us who are parents or leaders. Be very careful with how you praise. Do not praise intelligence. Do not say you are a genius. You are stripping away their resilience. Instead, praise the process, praise the strategy, praise the focus and persistence. Say things like, I really admire how you tried 3 different ways to solve that math problem. or I see you struggled, but you didn't give up, and now you're figuring it out. This kind of language plants the seeds of a growth mindset, giving people a strong heart to face the unpredictable storms of the future. After reading Mindset, my biggest realization is a new understanding of effort. In the past, we might have thought that having to try hard meant we weren't smart enough, that effort was for the slow people. But now we know that effort is literally the process of neurons connecting in the brain. Effort is the smart thing to do. This liberates us from the anxiety of constantly having to prove ourselves, allowing us to enjoy the process of developing ourselves. Life stops being a test where you must get a perfect score every day and becomes a playground of exploration. You can fall down, dust yourself off, and stand up again, knowing that the skin that grows over the wound will be tougher than before. Finally, I want to invite you to try a small exercise. Over the next week, when you encounter any setback, whether it's criticism from a boss, an argument with a partner, or just burning dinner, try to catch that self critical voice in your head. When that voice says, I can't do this, I want you to gently add that magical word, yet. Tell yourself, I just haven't mastered this yet. Replace judgment with curiosity and ask yourself, what is this experience trying to teach me? Life is not a 100-meter dash. It is a marathon with no finish line. We don't need to be the born winners. We just need to be the runners who are willing to keep learning, who fall and get back up. Because ultimately, what decides how far we run isn't how expensive our shoes are or how long our legs are, but the heart that believes we can keep going. That is the precious gift of the growth mindset. I'm Charlotte, and this is Read Insight. I'll see you next time.